Welcome sa zipline.com. This video tutuloy natin ang ating series on Precalculus, no? And nandito na tayo sa Precalculus 1.43. So kung mapapansin niyo yung mga videos natin sa YouTube, meron tayong sunod-sunod na mga numbers para mas madali nyo siyang panood na sunod-sunod, no? So in this video, ang i-discuss natin is about symmetry, no? Symmetry about the origin. Kung titignan nyo yung 1.42, diniscuss natin yung symmetry about the y-axis, no? Now, una natin diniscuss yung symmetry sa Precalculus sa 1.25 tsaka 1.26. Now, kung napanood nyo yung previous video, ang sabi ko sa inyo is that we repeat the discussion because we are now using the notation o this notation, yung f of x, g of x, h of x, and so on. Before kasi ang ginagamit lang natin ay y, no? xy lang tayo before. So ngayon, gagamit tayo ng bagong notation. Gusto natin i-connect yung xy notation dito sa f of x, no? Now, pag nagawa natin yan, mas madali nating maintindihan, no? Kung ano ba ibig sabihin ng symmetry sa functions. Now, sabi sa symmetry about the origin, sabi niya, test the graph of an equation for symmetry. Hindi na equation ngayon, function na kasi function na yung pag-usapan natin, no? Kaya nga nawala na ito kasi hindi ito kasama sa function. Pinaliwanag ko ito, no, sa 1.42 bakit hindi na ito kailangan, no? So, balikan nyo. Sabi natin, to test the graph of a function for symmetry about the origin, substitute negative xy into the negative x, negative y into the equation and simplify. If the result is equivalent to the original equation, the graph is symmetric about the origin, no? So, diniscuss ko rin ito dito sa 1.25 tsaka 1.26, pero dahil this is a new video, magbigay na tayo ng mas madaling example, no, para mabilis tayo. So, let's have the example y equals x squared. Oh no, not x squared but x cubed. Sabi, substitute negative x, negative y into the equation. So, magiging negative y at then magiging negative x cubed. So, pinalitan ko lang yung y ng negative y tsaka pinalitan ko lang yung x ng negative x. Dahil yan sabi dito. Tapos, simplify daw. Simplify natin, negative y equals, what is negative x cubed? May ibig sabihin yan, negative x times negative x times negative x. Negative, negative, positive times negative is negative. X times x times x, that's x cubed. So, negative y equals negative x cubed. Nakita yung pagkakaiba nito sa ito, no? Now, since both are negative, we can either multiply negative 1 from both sides, negative 1, or divide negative 1 from both sides, no? So, or divide both sides by negative 1, mali yung English ko. So, negative 1, negative y divided by negative 1 is y, and then negative x cubed divided by negative 1 is x cubed, no? So, bumalik siya dito. Ibig sabihin, sabi niya, if the result is equivalent to the original equation, the graph is symmetric about the origin. Ibig sabihin, yung graph nito is symmetric about the origin. Siguro tignan natin kung ano ba yung itsura ng x cubed. Ito yung kanina, no? Ito yung sa previous video. So, yan. Palitan na natin. So, f of x or y ang ginamit natin doon. Y equals x cubed. Ano ba ibig sabihin nung papalitan yung xy tsaka negative ng negative x, negative y? So, pag may point ako dito, what happens to my point here? Ano bang, may relationship ba yung, ano nito, yung kanyang coordinates? Sabi xy, di ba? Ano nangyayari sa negative xy? So, try natin yung negative. Hindi ko alam kung pwede gamitin to, no? Yung reflect about, may reflect about a point ba tayo dito? O meron, reflect about a point, select object and select center point. Kailangan may point tayo dito sa origin, no? So, kailangan na tayong point sa origin and then we reflect. Remember, pag reflection about the origin, dapat may point tayo dito, no? Dito sa software na ginagamit natin. So, this is GeoGebra. This is free, no? So, you can download this. And, pwede nyong explore, no? So, mag-reflect na tayo about the point. So, Yun. Anong masasabi nyo dun sa reflection? May napapansin ba kayo sa coordinates? Yan. Yung xy, dito negative x, negative y. So, yun yung kanina sinasabi natin. Pag nireflect mo yung bawat point, babalik siya dun sa original, pag pinalitan mo, di ba? It's the same as this one. Only negative, di ba? So, lahat ng point yan, yung reflection niya is same coordinates, only the negative. Actually, technically, they are not the same, but ibig sabihin yung same numbers but different signs, no? So, 1.38, negative 1.38, negative, this is 2.63, negative 2.63, and so on. So, lahat yan. So, pag negative naman itong isa, positive naman yung kapila. So, opposite sign siya, no? Now, anong kinalaman niyan dito, no? Pinapakita ko lang yung graphical, graphical interpretation niya. Now, now notice that pag pinalitan natin yung signs, for example, this is your xy. This is your point. Isang point na lang, no? But xy means nag-vary naman siya. Ibig sabihin, these are the points on the graph. Tapos yung isa mo is negative x, negative y. Now, i-represent ulit natin ito ng f of x katulad ng ginawa natin sa 1.42. No? So, dito, sa point dito, sa first quadrant, then we have y. Ano yung y natin? F of, what is our input here? X, no? Remember, yung nandito is the input and the y is the output, no? The y coordinates. Y coordinates natin are the outputs and the x coordinates are the inputs. Dito, what do we have here? So, ang output natin is negative y, pero ang input natin ay negative x. Tama? Now, meron tayong y dito, meron tayong negative y dito. Mas maganda siguro kung pareho silang y, di ba? Para ma-equate natin silang dalawa. No? So, what do? We multiply this by negative 1, this becomes y. And then this becomes negative 1 times f of negative x, that is negative of f of negative x. So, nagkaroon na siya ng negative. Nalipat lang yung negative dito kasi nag-multiply tayo ng negative 1. Now, since pareho na silang y, ibig sabihin pwede na natin itong equate dito, di ba? So, pareho naman silang y eh. Now, if y is equal to f of x, if y is also negative f of negative x, then negative f of negative x is equal to this one is equal to this one, di ba? F of x. Now, tanggalin natin yung negative dito. We multiply again by negative 1. We have f of x, or f of negative x, is equal to f of negative f of x. Nakita nyo? Nag-multiply ulit tayo ng negative 1. So, negative 1 times this, naging positive siya. As negative 1 times this, naging negative. Ito na yung pinaka-final equation natin. So, to check if the graph is symmetric about the origin, dapat masasatisfy niya itong equation na to for all the domains, no? For all the values of x in the domains. So, balik tayo dito sa ating definition from the previous video. Pwede nating palitan na ito, no? So, the graph of f is symmetric about the origin if and only if, ano sabi kanina? Check natin ulit. If negative, or if f of negative x is equal to for all x in the domain of f, no? So yun ang sinasabi natin kanina, no? Pag lahat ng x's nito ay nasa-satisfy, x's means many x, no? Any x ay nasa-satisfy itong equation na to, ibig sabihin symmetric siya about the origin, no? So balikan natin yung x cubed na ano natin na function, no? So yung y equals x cubed, paano yun? Paano natin yung gagawin? So for example, f of x, since gumagamit na tayo ng f, we try f of x equals x cubed. So what is f of negative x? What is f of negative x? F of negative x is, papalitan lang natin ito ng negative, no? So negative x cubed. And from the previous computation, sabi natin this is equal to negative x cubed. What about negative f of x? Negative f of x. Ang f of x natin is x cubed, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, nag-multiply lang tayo dito ng negative 1. This becomes negative x cubed. Now, as we can see, f of negative x is equal to negative x cubed, and negative f of x equals to negative x cubed. Therefore, f of negative x equals negative f of x. So, nasatisfy natin to. Ibig sabihin, yung x cubed natin, yung ating function na f of x equals x cubed, is symmetric about the origin. So, nakita niyo yung pagkakaiba kanina dun sa notation na y dito, no? So, dito isa-substitute mo lang naman yung negative x. And you have to show that it is equal to negative f of x. Pag napakita mo na yan, then you are sure that the graph of f is symmetric about the origin. Okay, so I hope meron kayo natutunan sa video na to, and mag-abang-abang lang kayo, no? Marami pa tayong videos na gagawin, and siguro in a few days baka magsimula na rin tayo ng ating calculus course. Maraming salamat. See you in the next tutorial.